thank you for having me here.
Thanks for
It
coming over.
is beautiful
Thank
practice.
you.
So it's really nice to be here because I think over the years FMC have got to know the practice and you guys through the awards, and we see you quite often towards the end of the year. But we never actually come to many of the practices. So it's really nice to be here and actually see it, and it is as good as it looks on paper. Thank you. So I just wanted to come here today and talk to you both about your journey together and Cheadle Hulme, the practice, and awards. So I love a dentistry power couple.
Never been described as that before.
And I love a story. So I would really like to know your story from where you guys began and then and how the practice evolved.
I'll let you lead on it.
Started the whole enterprise.
Yeah, I mean, I bought a practice down the road in 2009, which is, funnily enough, the year that we got married. So it was an expensive year. There was a lot going on, and we did actually enter, I think, in 2010-11, and we were shortlisted. But then over the sort of next 6-7 years, we kind of built up a smaller practice. And we knew it was time to move practices when we were getting to the point where our appointments books were sort of 3 or 4 weeks booked up. Associates were mega busy. I was just rushed off my feet, and we thought we need to buy another building and we need to actually expand. So the old practice was called Church Road Dental. We looked at loads of buildings, loads of potential houses we could convert, and nothing really appealed. There was nothing that was right. And then this building, which was a bank, it'd been derelict for about 4 years. It came up, and then we decided to put an offer in for it. We then had our sort of initial estimates for what it would cost, which actually at the end was about 5 times as much as we estimated.
Okay.
And then put everything into play. When did you?
So I was a primary school teacher.
Okay.
So when we first met, we actually met at uni. So I did a degree and then a PGC. So I was a primary school teacher, and then Shai had always, been a dentist, and then pre-COVID, so we'd had 2 children in the meantime, got married, and he had Church Road, and then pre-COVID, I left my job, and then after COVID, I was trying to kind of get back into teaching, had a couple of interviews and didn't get anything. And Shai was like, well, we really need someone to come into the practice and fill this role, which you've been trying to fill for a really long time.
Yeah. I mean, it was difficult because the staff were really busy. Initially, when we first started, I was trying to do a little bit of it. And then as the practice evolved, we tried to get nurses to help, and they were great. But there's always something else that's more important. So,
and then you'd use remote companies as well to try and do the Instagram and Facebook. That doesn't work because they don't know the practice, they don't know the staff. And Shai was like, well, we really, this could really work. And it'd always been like one of those, do we want to work together? Is this going to have a positive or negative impact on a relationship? But because what I do is very separate, and it's my thing, and I take the lead on it, I'm not kind of being directed by Shai, it's worked really, really well. And I think so. You
can't order me around at work. We've got different roles.
So it worked really well. I basically came into the practice about a year and a half before we moved. So we hadn't found this place. I was at Church Road, and I was doing social media and the marketing, like the blogs, newsletters, all that kind of stuff. And then this started happening. So it actually happened at the best time because we went on the journey together.
Hi everyone, so it's time for the big announcement. Basically, this is our brand new premises. We're going to be transforming it into a state-of-the-art 6-surgery practice. Follow me and I'll show you inside.
So we did it together, and I was a big role in, promoting. So I had like a separate Instagram page for the renovations because obviously people love all that kind of stuff. And so we went on this journey together, and then obviously then entering the awards and doing all of that, we've done it together. So I think had I not come into the business at that point, I think I would have felt like Shai was having all this success kind of separately. So I think it's worked really, really well.
I think timing was really important.
Timing was key.
A lot more luck than anything, wasn't
it? I think it just kind of everything fell into place for the reasons, for the right reasons, and it's just worked really, really well, and it's actually made us closer. because we have a common interest. I'm invested in the business now, and I'm like, we chat about stuff, but it's not all just work and clinical things. It's the other side of it as well. So
the fun stuff.
The fun stuff, and I love it because I get to be creative and do that, which I've always liked that kind of stuff as well, and I've always enjoyed writing and things. So I think it's kind of fulfilled that side of me as well.
You're almost running a separate business, but with the same outcome for both of you.
So I get to do what I like and I'm good at, which is seeing patients and concentrate on the dentistry part.
Yeah, because you were never sort of that keen on doing the social media side, and whereas I like that, and I've learned so much through the process and stuff, which has been really good as well. So so it's been really good.
Yes, we moved April 2022.
Yes, then it's 2 years ago.
Yeah, and then the awards we entered.
Yes,
it's October, November of that year.
It was. So it was like by the time that was, we'd only been in sort of 8 months.
I was going to say it's the first year you entering here. And you done really, really well.
It was a busy.
That was crazy. Just those 2 nights were just two of the most craziest nights of our lives. And again, we got to do it together. I think had Shai been at all these awards and I was just sat at home, I think it would have been really different. I think because I got to celebrate in those achievements with him kind of was really nice.
Yes, the joint excitement of it, I think, that planning. And obviously this was still really new as well, and then to have that celebration afterwards.
So it was a busy year.
It was a really good year. It was a really good year for us personally and with everything else.
And the events, I mean, they were just so well organised.
Oh, they're great.
Was,
I love it.
Lots of like-minded people, lots of people that we already knew, lots of people that were in a similar position. So it's just
you always know you're going to have a great night, even if you don't. Obviously, it's a disappointment if you don't win. But I think the night itself is such a celebration of dentistry and of the professionals within the field and how amazingly well the profession is doing. So it's just nice to see other people celebrating their achievements as well.
And also looking up to them and seeing what they've done and being inspired by other practices as well. It's a big thing for us as well.
So from 2022 and 2023, you entered a few awards, a few ceremonies and different categories within those awards, and you've done really, really well. Where did that start? What made you think, we've had a crazy year, let's enter some awards? Why was that important to you?
I just wanted a night out. No, I think it's a good thing. It's a good buzz for the practice. Both years, I think we won Team of the Year as well. So it's great to get the team involved in it. I think it's a good thing that everyone can build on. It's a good thing that everyone can get engaged on. We entered a couple of the nurses as well, didn't we?
Yes, this year we did. Yeah, we did.
Last year?
Last year. No. Last year. Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So as a practice builder, I think it just makes other members of staff feel more valued as well. Helps to show our appreciation to them. So from a team building point of view, it was good. Also, we redid our website last year with Digimax. We've only used those throughout the sort of years that I've been working. And again, it was a big project, and we were really happy with it. Shaz was as well, and we also won the West website as well. So again, that was a new addition which we hadn't done the previous year, and it just allowed us to kind of enter for that as well.
I think there's a couple of things that shine through from the practice, from someone behind the scenes. So we see the entry, and then we see you at the awards. So firstly, at the beginning stage, when we see the entry, there's a really strong brand. You can't miss it, and obviously you've won one of the branding awards as well. Where did the brand come from? Was it similar from what you had at Church Road, or did you completely reinvent it?
Yeah, I mean the logo was similar. We just changed it around a little bit because obviously we were no longer Church Road Dental. But we still tried to make it work. Again, Digimax were instrumental with their help with that. And then with the rest of the brand, we thought we'd go for... We used 2 different architects when we were doing up the practice. One was, they did hotel designs, so they were pretty, quite boutique, quite cool. And then there was lots of back... I was quite resistant, wasn't I, to the logo change? Because I didn't want the sort of gold lettering, and
I remember when he presented that logo to us, it was slightly different to how you'd imagined it, and there was a lot more wording on it, and then he showed us that, and I was like, yes, and you were like, no.
And then I think you almost ganged up on me.
I was like, this is going to work. This is because you needed to be just like say memorable and striking, and not too fussy, and you know all the rest of it. And then that's when the colour schemes and everything came through. And I think the key objective was we didn't want it to feel like a dental practice. You didn't want it to feel like a dental practice. You know, so many patients are stuck in this thing of, oh, the dentist, and they're scared and they're apprehensive, and we wanted it to feel like, you know, going for a spa treatment, or you're going for some relaxation time, you know, and have that feel. And a lot of our Google reviews comment on the fact that it feels like a hotel waiting area, or it feels like a spa waiting area rather than a dentist. It doesn't have the clinical smells. It doesn't have, you know, we have like the diffusers in every room, you know, so that it just feels homely and it feels welcoming and it feels relaxing rather than a scary place to visit.
And that's so important for so many patients as well, even patients who aren't particularly or extremely phobic. That's so much nicer for them to come somewhere that just feels like, you know, like a boutique hotel.
I mean, building the brand bit, the architect must have been so fed up of me. Because they were just throwing things back and forth, and I said, "Oh, I'm happy with this, but not with that." And it ended up being a long process, because I think I described it to you as well. I wanted to. It was a blank canvas. It was a fresh start. So I think my goal was to come in every day and be wowed, and I didn't want to cut on costs. So, and luckily the banks were willing to lend more and more. But what started off as a budget that was agreed on, it honestly ended up being so much more expensive, without any regrets. I mean, I'm glad we did it, because this is where I'm going to spend the next 20 odd years. But we just wanted to do it right and not take any shortcuts, because it was a building that we had, you know, we could start from scratch. So and it's such a lovely monumental building. It's got a lot of history to it as well. So yeah, we needed. It's a Grade 2 listed building as well. So the exterior we had to keep as it is, but we had the sort of option of changing everything inside and putting new walls up. It was so exciting, wasn't it? So
I think the amazing thing about Shai as well is he has a vision. Like, he just has this amazing vision, always has, and that's it. And he knows what he wants, and it's, you know. So I think you're very clear and concise in what you want and how you want it to be, and I think that's why it works.
Yeah. So it was that was fun, stressful, but fun. And then obviously the building. It took about 9 months to get everything ready, and it was just being really busy. It was post-COVID, so most dental practices were sort of booming from people having lots more elective treatments. So we were at our busiest point, and at the same time I was coming back and forth to the new building, which, you know, to monitor things.
And they didn't close for one day.
We did it.
Wow.
Yeah,
so did it all behind the scenes, and that weekend before we opened, and literally Church Road was open on the Friday, and then we opened here on the Monday.
All the staff came in over the weekend, and everyone was just mega helpful. There was a big buzz about it.
I think that's the other thing, that the second thing that really shines through when we've seen the entries and seen you guys at the awards is the team, and there's like a real obvious energy between you all, that you just can't miss, and it's so lovely. And when you have all come up to stage, it's like you can't help but feel that energy between you all.
We're really lucky we've got, and it's not been an easy process, because obviously with any employment it's difficult to know who you're going to get until they start. But now we've built up such a strong team that if we do get anybody starting and they're not to the level that we expect, and you know, they're going to get weeded out quite quickly, because we've got such a, you know,
got a real core members now that have been here for a really long time, and they are literally like, you know, they've really got the practices back, and they're really loyal, and they're very, like, you know, and everybody works really well together, and so it's a good team. It's a really good team.
Which
it does shine through. It really does.
Well, it's that saying, isn't it? Teamwork makes the dream work. Like, it's so important, and you know, and it's been a long road to get there.
I was going to say, it doesn't happen overnight, and as the teams become bigger and bigger with the move, you know, we've promoted different members of the team. So we've got a practice manager, clinical lead, reception manager. So everyone's got their own responsibilities. But again, it's taken time to allow these people to shine through. So we've got it's an amazing team now. So.
Is Mandy still here?
She is. She's
Mandy wants
she's gonna. She said she wants to be interviewed in a bit.
Oh, please.
Just dropped her in.
You're a practice manager for Cheadle Hulme.
I am, yes.
And you've won a couple of awards.
I
with
did,
us.
yes, yeah. I think I won 3.
Yeah. It was a pretty wild night
It
for
was
you
wild.
and the team, wasn't it?
I got my steps in, so keep going up and down.
Yeah. It was so lovely, and I was actually saying to Gemma and Shai that there's a couple of things that shine through from the practice. Is before the awards, when we see the entries, that you can tell that there's a real team togetherness.
Yeah, we're a family.
And
really
the brand really shines through. You can tell it's a really great practice.
Yeah.
But then on the awards night, sometimes you don't get everyone there, or we just see you see there's so many people there. We see lots of people and different things going on and different practices celebrating. But there's a real energy that shines through from you guys
When we're all running up.
But you can tell, like, oh, it's so lovely. And then when you're winning, you've got like the full support of the rest of the team, and there was like a real emotion present. And it was amazing. How did it feel for you?
I was just amazed. I was like shocked, obviously. I was sat there having my nice little drink, all nice and quiet, and then my name had come up. I was like, and then at one point, I think for one of them, I actually didn't even realise I'd won. And then Shai just went, "It's you!" I was like, "Oh, quick, let's go!" But I was like, "You're coming down with me," because it's not just me; it's everybody. And when the team had said that they'd put me through, because I didn't know they'd done it all, and they'd done all the little videos and everything, I didn't know, and I felt very, very proud. And it just makes me think, well, what I'm doing, it must be right.
Yeah, you're doing something right. How long have you been at Cheadle Hulme? Or were you at Church?
I was at Church Rose, so I'm coming up to probably 6-7 years now. So probably 7 years in August. But then I was obviously in Denton for 17 years. I'm not saying my age. So yes, Shai likes to tell me that I'm 4 weeks older than him. He says it on a daily basis. But yeah, I love dentistry, and I think for me it's just making sure that the people that are coming into the industry now are actually passionate about it, because that's where I've come from. I've come from being that little apprentice nurse that doesn't know teeth from a telephone and things like that, and it's just that's where I got my my passion for it. And I have never actually wanted to do teeth. It was my dad that made me do it. He said, I finished school, and he said, "What do you want to do after school? Are you going to uni, college?" And I was like, no, I just want to get out and just get in the world and start earning a living. He goes, "Right, okay, you've got your 6 weeks holiday." He said, "And then you can, you do what you want to do." He said, "But at the end of the 6 weeks, you're getting a job." I was like, right, Dad. The last week, I didn't. And then I was on my way down to my friends, and he rang my friends, because we didn't have mobiles back in the day. Rang my friend and says, "Tell Mandy she's got an interview on Monday night." I was like, he's actually booked me in.
Oh my word!
And the rest is history.
Wow.
I know. I was
Yes,
like,
Dad. So you just knew it was meant to be.
Yeah, and then it was great.
Yeah. What did it mean to you to win that award? You said obviously you didn't know that you were being entered.
So they didn't really tell us until like later. Obviously, before we went, they'd said, we have put you in for it. And to win one award would have been amazing, but then I won 3 that year, and in one was the national one.
Yeah, the overall.
So I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
But
and that's right at the end of the night. No one's warning you.
No.
Maybe go easy on the drink.
Yeah. And then, every time you won, somebody's got you a shot. Or we had a little thing, if you win, get a little shot. And then by the end of it. But yeah, for me, it just means that what I'm doing is right. Everybody's happy in their work. We're putting that passion back in the industry. We have apprentice nurses here that we're trying to give the best start to. Yeah. And it just means that, we can really look after the patients, and when they come in, they feel like they're coming into a family and not just coming into, a dental practice that's a dental practice. They're welcome. We're really passionate about creating the smiles.
Yeah. And your dad?
My dad's great.
I bet he must be like, that's it, I got it right.
He never says anything like that. He's very quiet, is my
dad. He knows.
But he knows. He'll be sat there going, I put that interview.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations. And, look forward to seeing you guys at the end of the year.
Thank you. She's been such a massive part of the whole process, and she is amazing.
Big driving factor.
I do remember the emotion. From Mandy when she won.
God,
and
she
won
twice. Practice manager of the UK at both awards. And again, during the whole transition, she was, you know, she's
just solid. She is so solid. Nothing phases her.
Yeah.
She's just, but she's actually really personable as well. So she's solid, and she's like, you know, nothing breaks her, but actually she's got a really sensitive side when it comes to dealing with staff and things like that. So she ticks all the boxes.
Funny as well.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's hilarious. So she's always good on a night out, is Mandy. So
how did it feel as a team, or the practice, to win an award? That moment when
the team won for we know that was the best.
Yeah,
really. That's the best, and that was weird because that was the first year we entered and we didn't know which one to take the team to, and it worked out so well because the one that we took the team to was the one where we won Team of the Year for the Northwest and the UK. So that was all about the team, and it was just amazing.
That was special.
You know, I think if you take your whole team and it's only one or two people winning, or it's like designing brand or website, it's different, but because we won the team, that was just the buzz when we came back
it
was just so good. It was really good.
What did it mean to them?
It's like a recognition, isn't it?
I think everyone was quite emotional, weren't they?
I think it's a recognition that this, you know, people do work really hard, and you know, it's on a day-to-day basis, it's difficult to always, you know, thank people or you know, make a fuss of it. So I think it just gives you as a principal the opportunity to thank your staff.
I think that year they always work hard, but that year there was a lot going on, so we'd obviously had to move. They were coming in at the weekends and giving up their time. There was a lot going on.
There was.
There's obviously the CQC inspections. They were under a lot of pressure, and you know, everyone was incredible.
So because obviously we won team again last year as well, didn't we? It is. I think it's probably actually, as a practice overall, it's the best one to win. Because it involves everybody, and it's a recognition of everybody's hard work.
It's a nice way to say that was all worth it. For everyone, everyone plays such a big part,
definitely. And you know, the team is at the forefront of everything. You know, they're seeing the patients, they're treating the patients, they're welcoming the patients. So actually, like, you know, without them, it's not going to happen, is it? So
What did it mean to patients? Did you get any feedback from patients?
So we, as part of Gemma's role, she does obviously the social media, but we do monthly newsletters as well, which patients do read. So the patients were, I think they, you know, we got a lot of feedback, a lot of congratulations from them. I think it, you know, it made them realise that we are, you know, we're really trying to make the journey for them the best place to have their treatment done. So I think they, you know, because
it was, in the newsletters, it was like, oh, we've been nominated for this, and then obviously then we've won this, so it's like they came on the journey with us, kind of thing. And I think I mean, there's a lot of good dental practices to choose from now, isn't there? So if it stands you apart from somebody else, because, you know, and the fact that we have got so many now, you know, when you come in, like you were looking at them before, and they're just there on display, it does make patients think, well, actually, this must be a really good place to come, you know, for new patients. And then for patients that there's patients that have been with you since, you know, back in the day. And they're the ones that will say to us, oh, it's much deserved. We've been here the whole time, and we've seen you grow, and you know, for you to have this recognition is really, really good.
They can see how much work we're putting in as well, so it kind of helps to kind of highlight that, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And how have you used it in marketing for the practice as a whole for new patients, and how has that been effective?
So it goes on, like at the end of if I do like a video or something like that, it will go on the end, like I'll have like a little screen which has got our awards on and stuff.
Put it on everything we can, to be honest. I remember the 2022 year we sent Christmas cards out, and I'm pretty sure we had a picture of the whole team with the awards. Personalised Christmas cards.
Actually, we use that picture quite a lot. So if it's a team picture, then it's, you know, that's the because
it was fun because we were all you could tell we were all a bit drunk on it and making funny faces and gestures. But it makes patients realise that we're only humans as well.
Definitely.
I think we used it on pretty much everything.
Yeah, we did, and we advertised in a couple of the local area magazines as well. So I did a write-up for that, and they did an editorial on it as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
And then obviously the FMC have done, so that's gone out in the dentistry magazines as well. So it's kind of like it's gone out there to, you know, to as many people as we can that you know that this is award winning. So I think it definitely will attract new patients if they can see that for all these different.
I think when people are, I mean, there's this like Gemma said, there's so many good dentists out there. So when people are Googling, searching, yes, it's great to get recommendations, but again, patients are looking for what sets practices apart, and when
it's on the website as well, isn't it? And stuff. So you know,
so you can see the awards that we've got. I think again, you know, I'm sure we're as good as other practices, but it will just help us to get that little bit more recognition.
Yeah.
It does give you that flag to fly to patients, doesn't it? To say, you know, we know we're good.
But these other people,
So
no, it's kind of helped from that point of view.
Yeah,
definitely.
A few quick fire questions.
Okay,
go for it.
Some dental, some not. Some have come from the team. So, firstly, if you had an unlimited budget, what innovation or change would you like to make to the dental industry?
You can't do a quick fire on that. You have to think about it.
I can't really help it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think in deprived areas, lower socioeconomic areas, I think it'd be education. Again, it's not a technological thing, but I think it would be, if there was a pot of money, it'd be investing more in trying to reduce the caries rate in lower socioeconomic areas. I think that would be a massive thing to orthodontics, again, with the IOTN changing, the NHS budget changing, I think as a country there are a lot more patients who can't afford to go private for their ortho treatment, which is a shame because there's going to be more patients now that can't get orthodontics on the NHS, that can't afford it, that are going to have worse malocclusions. So I think, you know, a certain amount of funding for that would be, if I had a magic wand, that would be great.
So my research tells me they're both gym bunnies.
Good research.
6 a.m. club friend. I see you. Brilliant. What does exercise mean to you both? Why are you gym bunnies? What's your favourite training?
So I mean, I'll let you go first on it.
It keeps me sane.
Yeah.
Literally, that is the reason I do it.
Yeah.
It's the physical and, you know, those benefits come secondary to me. It keeps me sane.
Yeah.
It's my time, it's my headspace, it's everything. And I do a mixture of cardio and resistance training. So try and like do a bit of 50-50. But yeah, it's my headspace. Definitely.
I think mine's a similar reason. I train at 6 as well, and I get up at 5:45, train at 6, and then by the time I'm at work for 8, I've already been awake for 2 hours, so I'm rearing to go, so I'm fully on it. We also put a gym in, actually.
Oh yeah,
the gym
downstairs. I mean,
you should have said, I come in my gear, we can have this meeting
like a rocky gym. It is like a rocky gym.
Like
it is in the cellar. So
again, going to the gym is such a big thing for me, so I wanted it to be more accessible for staff as well. So when we moved in 2022, so around August, September time, the cellar was just a dead space. So we decided the team were really up for it. We just said, look, if we were to put a gym in here, would you go for half an hour? We have an hour for lunch, would you use it? Everyone seemed really keen, so we've got a lot down there. So there's,
you'll have to take some video.
So there's quite a lot down there. It's not the most luxurious of gyms, but
I trained
before work, and then I have half an hour at lunch every day just to...
So you don't get pestered, basically, isn't it?
No, I clear my head, so I just go down for half an hour, get on the treadmill, do some weights, and just helps me to, again, I think focus is a big thing. So when I train, which is pretty much every day, it just means I can tackle other things, and it's just that endorphin release.
If you don't, like, I mean,
I'm grumpy.
Yeah, basically.
My husband says to me, he's like,
"Have you not trained today?"
Yes, I do.
I really do. It's crazy, isn't it? And I think until you understand that, until you feel that. Like, people who will start on an exercise journey, you have to get to that place where you love it so much you miss it if you don't do it. and then you know it just becomes so embedded in your routine. It's never a chore. It's like it is what you want to be doing with your time, and you'll make time for it then. It's never going to be like, oh well, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. It's like gym comes first, and then everything else can come later.
I know that I'm just set for the day.
That's it.
And I think when you go at 6, no one else interrupts you as well. Like the kids, my kids are still in asleep, so's mum. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys know Craig from FMC, sometimes he will send me a text or an email and I'm like, how dare you?
It's my gym time.
Do you know what I'm doing?
No, he's great. So we both, and again, I think it's that like-minded thing. I think it works because we're both into it. I think if you've got one of you that's like, oh, you know, why are you doing that? And why you know, they don't understand it. I think when you both enjoy it that much and it is such part of your routine, you understand why each other needs to make space for that.
Wasn't this supposed to be a quick fire?
I'm not very good at
quick fire answers.
Right, last but not least.
Okay.
Travelling to work, would you prefer to travel on an elephant or a giraffe? That came from the team at the office.
That is
and
a great
why?
Question.
A giraffe. It's just a bit quicker, isn't it? And you can see more.
Yeah. You would be sat on its head. You'd still be sat on the same height.
They're still higher up. The body's higher up.
I'm going to go for elephant because, they're magical creatures.
Yeah. But then it's a commute in, it's dead time. So if a giraffe can get you there quicker, you've reduced that dead time.
You need to go on a cheetah.
That wasn't the question.
It wasn't included.
Great question though. Love that. Imagine how everybody's staring at you down the street actually travelling to work on a giraffe.
No, I'd own it. I'd be like, I am on this giraffe. How magic am I?
Amazing. Great.
We'd have to have the awards logos.
Yeah, you could pimp them up.
There's some reins with them as flags or something on it. Brilliant. Cool. Alright, well thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely to come and see you guys in practice. We look forward to seeing you at the ceremonies later in the year.
Definitely. Thank you, Anna. Thank you.